I was just watching the man who said, "Look what came out of my egg sack." Okay, that's a weird bug. I'm gonna call him Boogie Bug. I'm gonna call him Boogie Booty Bug. Here we have a small river where we have the Spino himself, the one who makes you poop your pants. Ah, there we go, the red one. Ah, I'm pretty sure he's at a battle with. There's another island. So the island of man, as it was nicknamed. The island of death and man in itself. Dr. Blue. Why am I so slow? I can't get a potion of swiftness. That'd take too long. So, gotta be slow. Look at the island of death itself. The island where no life can truly survive. Unless you're the island of carnivores were born. The island where carnivores were the only species. The island where carnivores were the only dominant species. And the island of man itself. The island of death. Exactly like where these protoceratops were living. Exactly why I didn't tell you. That's exactly why I didn't show you them. Because they live here in a very dangerous environment. That's exactly why they're tinier. And their quills are much sharper. And males and females have the markings, except the female ones aren't colored. They have the markings that aren't colored. It's actually engraved in their skull. So, exactly how they survive. The Isle of Man. This island was actually still pretty vibing. It still had the vibes. This was nicknamed the Wasteland Island, the island of death itself, where dodos still were able to survive. Except the species very similar to dodos survive. These aren't, and also please. Here would be like modern day Africa, a little bit of Asia, too. The island geography would be different, and there's a small animal that some dodos do eat sometimes, and the Spinosauruses thrive on. And these animals called the Pteranodons, they were actually termites, not ants. They actually, in this universe, because the extinction never happened, termites and ants were able to survive much better, and termites outcompeted. There's many other niches that had to be filled up. Wasteland crawler. So this continent was called the Wasteland. Wastelandia, as it was called, was one of the hardest continents to survive on. Intelligent life was different. In this world, intelligent life was very different. Because there was no man. No human existed. The most intelligent animal you were getting... Actually, the most intelligent animal here was the Indominus Rex, that creature. It's evolved naturally. That Indominus creature. And most sources were able to survive, actually, somehow. Well, small marine reptiles survived. Here. Actually...
Put in the patty. You gotta say something, honey.
I didn't.
No, you didn't.
So, these actually realized some migrated over to the Isle of Man. Well, the Wastelandia. Because, well, that's how life survived. They lived in these pods, which are very rare nowadays. This was actually a third species. They were hunted by Mosasaurus. The Mosasaurus lived here. The islands were changed a lot. Because that's the Mosasaurus's main diet. And also Nautilus has lived here. Nautilus has also lived here. Nautiluses were always endangered. They live a little bit more on the top water instead of deep. Well, coelacanths would to live deeper, but not in caves, because they have less to worry about. Coelacanth was always spelled weirdly. Yeah, living deep down, there's much less light. And also, there's not many animals that live deep down now. Most niches were destroyed. Most niches weren't being able to be filled. Coelacanths were herbivorous. They ate that plant. They ate that yummy plants. They were vegetarians. They were vegan. They did not eat meat. They did not eat animal stuff. I just didn't say they ate meat. And the biggest mammal, actually, but a bear had actually survived. A bear. Biggest bear ever. The only bears were actually able to survive. Don't ask me how. There's only one species of bear, though. An animal was basically just a grizzly bear on steroids. And there's something called the Wasteland Beast. They lived in the plains. Here was more of a wasteland because dinosaurs never went extinct. There's also something called the crawler. The wasteland crawler was the only member of its family. Sharks and gators were the Those animals that were called wasteland. These alligators survived to be less amphibious and more. They decided to go out to be more. Some sharks survived. These were called the devil shark. Devil sharks were very rare. Very few devil sharks actually existed. Devil sharks are very rare. Bloodwing rats survived. They were on the top for food chain. They were pretty high in the food chain actually. For being a mammal, because this was like dinosaurs were the main focus. Here we're focusing on mammals and other animals. Rats lived on the main continent. The Isle of Man was something very deadly. And there was still some flying animals, except they were very rare. Flying was something really wasn't needed no more. Look at Pteranodons. Look at the Pteranodons. Look how they flied. They flied with their head in the ground. Just to get air. Fly with their head down, and their legs had actually evolved less. They could only land. They don't even have toes anymore. They've completely lost toes. We're going to focus on the sky a little bit. Focus on the sky a little bit too. We're focusing on the sky too. Bloodwings are actually bees that have adapted. These are bees. Actually, bees somehow. Bees survived. I'm a cock boy. I'm a cock boy. Tyrannosauruses changed a lot. They survived. The Bloodwings hunted them, actually. The Bloodwings hunted them. Bloodwings constantly hunting them. Some moved up north a little bit. Survive up here, but it was still very dangerous land. It was still very hard to survive. Because they had to live here because it was the only place that they could, the only place where they could actually live. Truthfully survive. And we had two born, they lived in water mainly. Cockroaches survived. Scorpion relative. not many arachnids survive, except crabs survive. True crabs I'm talking about. I'm talking about the real ones, the G's. The trilogy coming soon to an end. About the planet with the dinosaurs.